Wilkins flying out to Timo Perez. Mike Hampton complete game shutout. And Mike Piazza caught every pitch. And now taking a victory lap around Citi Field after his induction into the Mets Hall of Fame. What a terrific day for Mike and his family. And what a great day for Met fans who have come out in force today to celebrate Mike's career and relive some very happy and sometimes bittersweet memories along with him. We'll have Mike on a little bit later on, but I thought it was fascinating that he made the case that maybe his most special moment in Flushing was coming back as a visiting player and being cheered, which does not happen to everybody.
In that game, he hit a couple home runs
off Pedro Martinez.
And what was great about that game, and maybe it's not great for Mike, but it's great for me, cheered, standing ovation, first home run. Cheered, standing ovation, home run. Game's in the balance, fourth at bat, booze. And it was like a typical New York moment. It's like, we love you, but come on, we got to win this game.
We made the turn.
That's right. That's right.
Meanwhile, the Mets have one game to play in their season in 2013 and a chance for John Neese to exit the season with a winning record.
Well, Jonathan 8-8 this season, and you know, it's been a season, I think, that is really rewarding in the sense that he missed part of it with an arm injury. He's come back, pitched better than ever, and I think that with this start and moving forward, he's going to be one of the bigger parts of this Mets team.
Hyundai starting lineup for the Brewers today. Gene Segura, who tried to give it a go yesterday, has got a hamstring issue, not playing today, which means it's wide open for Eric Young to try and win the National League stolen base title. He and Segura are tied for the lead going into the final day. Carlos Gomez had the big day against the Mets yesterday with 4 hits, and Neese will try and keep him down today.
Well, here's John's numbers. 500 record, good ERA, good relation to based on balls to strikeouts. The whip is a little high for John because of the 152 hits. But, you know, big start here today. Get you into the offseason thinking positive. And I get to do the defense because Keith's not back because he's a Hall of Famer. The Lexus defense. Young, Lagares, and Baxter. Wright, Tovar, Murph. 161st game this season. Murph, I salute you. You are a gamer. You run amok occasionally, but you kept your base hits. Amazing season for you.
I look forward to the day when you were inducted into the Mets Hall of Fame and I get to do these opens alone. I can do the defense myself.
I told you, I'm like Groucho Marx with those kind of clubs. You know that.
Terry Collins, rumor has it, will be receiving a contract extension tomorrow, but that is still very unofficial. And also unofficial is the fact that the Mets plan to bring back his entire coaching staff for next year. But that's a subject for tomorrow.
So we're officially announcing unofficial news.
We don't know anything.
Okay, great. We're used to that.
For the course. Terry Collins greeting some of his supporters before the game today.
He is such a class act. I know you folks are probably never going to get to meet him or spend any time with him. It's a delight every single second you get to be in his presence.
Final game of the season. First pitch from John Neese. Ball 1 to Nori Aoki, and we're underway. Aoki 3 for 13 in this series, including a leadoff home run. And he pounds one foul, 1-1. Aoki hitting .288 for the year, but .345 against left-hand pitching. Not exactly what you'd expect from the left-hand batter. See the Mets wearing special caps today in honor of Mike Piazza. And that one hugs the line and just stays foul. Due to let it roll to see if it would come back fair. It did not. So 1-2 to Aoki with Jeff Bianchi and Jonathan Lucroy to follow for the Brewers, who've taken the first 3 games of this series. It was 5 years ago this month that Jonathan Neese made his major league debut against the Milwaukee Brewers at Miller Park. When, and I'm sure John would like to not remember this, he became the first pitcher in Mets history to give up a home run to the first man he faced. First. Ricky Weeks took him deep to lead off the game. John wound up with a no decision that day. Got his first win later in September of '08. Murphy charges on the Aoki ground ball. Nice play, throws him out one way.
Well, it's not the same pitcher that we see today. I remember I haven't seen anyone more nervous than Jonathan was that afternoon, and rightfully so.
It's hard to believe it's been more than 5 years since that first start for John, who's now won 43 big league games. Jeff Bianchi hitting second in the order, playing shortstop with Segura out of the lineup. Bianchi 2 for 9 in this series, hitting a .237 for the year. Couldn't ask for a nicer day to close the 2013 season. Beautiful blue skies, 70 degrees, just a perfect afternoon. Good changeup by Nice to even the count 1-1.
This is the end of our 8th year together, by the way. We have to stop counting because it's not as much fun anymore. It was nice, 3rd year together, 4th, 8th, and it hit double figures. Then I'm going to be a little afraid.
Well, what's fantastic, and not to get too serious on you, is that we've been able to keep this group intact for 8 years. You and Keith and myself, and for 7 of those years, Kevin Burkhardt, and everybody sees us, but also all the folks behind the scenes. Our producer Greg Picker, our director Bill Webb, Dan Barr and Greg Schultz in the truck, John DeMarsico, who's joined the team, Elvis, along the way. And almost all of our cameramen, all of our audio folks, almost everybody who started with us in 2006 is still here. Our stage managers, Russ Relkin and Kerry Lorberfeld, and the whole group has been able to stay intact, and they're all such an enormous part of what we do. Bianchi handles the ground ball. Wright throws him out. 2 away.
It was cool. I was down in the stands during the induction of Mike Piazza, and I got a seat that was in the last row, so it wasn't disruptive or anything. And everyone had their cell phone or their whatever device videotaping the entire event. It was really cool.
Jonathan Lucroy hitting 3rd in the order, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Lucroy 2 for 10 in this series, having himself a conclusion to a fine season. More RBIs than any catcher in the major leagues. And the curveball had him fooled, and it's 0-2. You know what I like? I like this building filled. Oh, I'd like to see that happen more often in the future. Here's the 0-2, and the curveball bounced slowly. Wright has to charge it. And throwing against Lucroy, gets him easily to retire the side. 3 ground balls for Nice. Mets will come to bat in the bottom of the 1st on the final day of the season with no score. David Wright will play the final day. Daniel Murphy will play his 161st game of the season. Not too many people play 161 of 162. Juan Centeno will get the assignment behind the plate today as the Mets square off against Marco Estrada. First time he'll start against the Mets.
I was watching the induction, so I have no idea who this guy is. No, Marco Estrada is an accomplished pitcher. You see his record. Good fastball, sinks a little bit. His best pitch is his changeup. And I'm still doing the defense because we're waiting for the Hall of Famer. All of a sudden,
he's signing autographs.
I mean, it's not the Oscars now. Let's go. 35 outfield assists, third most in the National League. Schaefer, we saw yesterday, is an outstanding outfielder. Gomez, Aoki, Betancourt, Bianchi, Jeanette, and Halton is playing first. He came late in the game last night and played first. And Lucroy, of course. Show me something. He's a veteran, not a veteran, but he's been around. Played all 4 games of the series. I'd like to see that.
Well, the door is wide open for Eric Young. Last night or yesterday, he got on base only once, and that was in the 9th inning, and he didn't have a chance to steal a base. 44 steals, tied with Gene Segura for the National League lead. Segura not playing today, so Eric needs to get on and give himself a chance, and he takes ball 1 for Marco Estrada. Eric 2 for 13 in this series. This is his 91st game as a Met after joining the team in mid-June, playing virtually every day.
So for you folks at home, if you ever want to look at stats online of any player, you go to baseballreference.com, right? It'll give you stats, what they've done, whether they're an all-star, MVP, etc. But one of the great things about it, when you look at it, in bold italics will be if you led the league. So that's what he's going for, some bold italics.
You know, and Terry Collins made this point today, you know, winning the stolen base title, what does it mean in the grand scheme of things? He said, if you're the best in the league at something, that's an accomplishment. It's a big thing. You know, and especially for a guy like Young, who's been a reserve player for most of his career. This is the first chance he's ever been able to play enough over the course of a season, 535 at bats, to be a league leader. And it behooves you to take advantage of your opportunities when you get that chance.
85 going into September. I looked at all the pitcher stats. So innings, good. Wins, good. ERA, good. Strikeout. I'm looking at everything. Cannot find one thing to lead the league in. Led the league in walks.
Good for you.
114. Very excited.
So is that in bold also?
Yes, it is in bold because it's the worst.
Shouldn't it be in bold when you have the fewest walks?
It should be almost erased. That's what it should be.
2-2 from Estrada, and Young lays off the breaking ball, and it's 3-2. Of course, we'll be keeping our eye on the American League wild card race. 3 teams fighting for 2 spots going to the final day. Tampa Bay has issued the first throwdown, 6 runs in the top of the first in Toronto, and they lead 6-0 in the second. The other 2 games have yet to start, Cleveland and Minnesota, and the Rangers hosting the Angels. Cleveland with a 1-game advantage over the other 2, which leads to my next question. Are your bags packed?
My bags are packed. My family's coming after the game. They don't come to the games.
Shallow center field. Gomez has to hurry in, and it drops in for a base hit. Well, there's Young's opportunity. Gomez got a late start on it. Young has a base hit, and now his first stolen base opportunity of the day. Well,
there's the changeup I was talking about. Just off the end of the bat. Gomez was playing shallow, but there's no way to defense this. And it drops in front of him, despite his great speed.
So Young is on base, and he's already taken a healthy lead. It's the earliest I've ever seen him get a lead. Here's Duda. See if he takes a pitch to give Eric a chance. Duda 2 for 9 in this series. And there he goes. First pitch. The throw by Lucroy, and that's stolen base number 45 for Eric Young Jr. He is now the sole National League leader. Didn't take him long.
Well, you're almost sure that Eric Young's going to steal a base. What you're not sure of is he's going to slide past the bag, because he has those vicious slides where he hops into his slide but stays right there.
He knows what that represents. So he now leads the league by himself. 1-0 the count to Duda. And Bianchi was standing on the bag as Estrada threw that pitch home.
Well, luckily, that's where he plays, in that kind of channel against Duda. Not slightly, shaded the pull.
2-0 to Duda with David Wright on deck. Estrada paying Young a lot of mind now, and he misses badly for ball 3. If ever a pitcher looked distracted by a base runner, it was that pitcher on that pitch.
Guys trying to get the stolen base lead does not throw over in the first pitch. I mean, no, well.
There goes Young stealing third, and a double clutch by Lucroy, and he steals the bag. Well, if Lucroy had been able to release that ball the first time, he might have gotten him. But the double clutch cost him, and that's 46 now for Young.
Hard to steal third when you have a left-handed hitter up if you don't get a great break. He did not. And Lucroy with a double clutch, you're right. He would have had him, but he did not. Two-timing it, Eric Young.
Trying to leave no doubt. Maybe now trying to get to 50. 3-1 to Duda. He's not going to steal home, is he? Pulled foul. Although as far as Betancourt is playing off the line against Duda, Eric could get a pretty good start toward home plate.
Yogi still says he was out.
Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
I can't say anything bad about Yogi today. That was yesterday.
George Stone day. Our George Stone day yesterday.
That was great, by the way, having George Stone on the phone. 3-2 to Duda, and Lucas goes down on the changeup. So Estrada strikes out Duda for the first out.
It's his best pitch. You'll see it early. You'll see it often. He's got great life to it, tailing action to it, and just takes enough off. Look at that ball coming. The 3 prongs, almost like the tine of a fork, as he releases that ball to the plate.
Makes me smile when I see catchers catch with their eyes closed. Well, here's David Wright. A singular honor for David before the game today, catching Mike Piazza's first pitch. It was somewhat reminiscent of the closing day at Shea when Piazza caught Tom Seaver's last pitch, the passing of the torch.
I just remember them doing that, and then they walked out the gate.
The center field game. That was a great moment.
Yeah.
I mean, tear-stained moment.
Right.
Of course, there were enough tears shed by the game itself that day in 2008. David lifts one to right, not very deep. Tagging it third, Young. Aoki coming in to grab it, and Young's going to try it. Here comes the throw by Aoki, and the tag by Lucroy. Save! Sheer speed. A great throw by Aoki, and Young just flat beat it for the game's first run. What a trip around the bases.
Aoki has a great arm, but he had to battle the sun to catch that baseball. Throws a strike to the plate. And you know what's interesting there? Lucroy reached for the baseball. If you can as a catcher, you want it to come to you. What travels quicker? Your arm or the ball? The ball, of course, reaches out by the time he gets back. Young just underneath the tag. Boy, that's a take you out to dinner sack fly right there.
A single, 2 stolen bases, and a sacrifice fly. Wright gets credit for an RBI, and Young gets credit for a well-earned run. Daniel Murphy takes a strike. Murphy with 187 hits. Matt Carpenter leads the league with 199. Murphy is second. And Andrew McCutchen is not playing today. He's third in the league because Pirates are resting him for their wild card date on Tuesday with the Reds. And so Murph will finish second in the National League in hits this year. Quite an accomplishment. Has a 10-game hitting streak as he finishes the year. And he pops this one up. Yankee shading his eyes and stays with it to end the inning. Mets going to run on the speed of Eric Young. And when we come back, we'll visit with the newest Mets Hall of Fame inductee, Mike Piazza. 1-0 Mets after 1. and we are just thrilled to have with us in our booth the newest member of the Men's Hall of Fame, Mike Piazza. Mike, congratulations.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. It's great to be here.
What a terrific day. I mean, perfect weather, great ceremony, so many friends and family on hand. What struck you the most about it?
Just the sheer emotion and love that these fans have given me. I mean, again, you know as well as anybody, they're special fans, they're knowledgeable fans, and but man, it's overwhelming. I mean, they've just given me so much support, and everywhere I go, it's something. You know, again, I knew if I could play well here, I would you know, get the fan support, but it's just been nothing I can imagine. It's crazy.
I got to ask you a question. The first year you came here, it wasn't like when you left the Dodgers. You went to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You came here with all the expectations. That first year, what was your feeling when you knew you came over to the Mets? Yeah. You had all this put on your shoulders.
Sure.
How did it feel?
Well, looking back, it was nerve-wracking. I didn't get a lot of sleep. I really didn't. And, you know, as a ball player, you guys know, I mean, when you come here, you got to put on that game face, and you got to find a way to get it done. And but, man, it was so much trepidation. And, you know, as I was saying a little bit in the press conference, it's like, you know, when you go through that, no one could prepare you. It's just something you cannot, no one can explain to you. Even when Danny Lozano, my agent, and I were talking in L.A., and we were having, he's like, you know what? You say no to this, you may get shipped out of here. And I was like, nah. He's like, I'm just telling you, you know. And so he was always very forthright about that. But again, you know, coming to New York, knowing the opportunity here, and then knowing that the work you have to do on the field here is something that probably I'm most proud of as far as career-wise. You know, being able to focus and trying to be as consistent as I could, and then obviously with the fan, the support has just been tremendous.
You know, Mike, you made a great point. I was listening to talk to Gary Apple, and he said trying to quiet the noise that happens in this town. How I did it is I didn't read the papers. So if I threw a shutout, I didn't read it. Yeah. And I certainly didn't read it when I got knocked out in the first. But how did you do it?
You know, Mookie had a great line. He said, there's nothing they can write that'll make you feel better after a good game, and nothing they can write to make you feel worse after a bad game. So, you know, not that you're right. I mean, it's something. It's always nice to look at the press when you have a good game, but then you know it could swing the other way. So you're right. You know, I think just a general respect and understanding what the media is in this town, and knowing that, you know, you got to give them their time. You know, these guys come in and say, oh, you know, I have a beef with that guy and a beef. It's, you know, that's the way it is. You know, and you realize you're one big swing away from turning it all around. So that, for me at least, kind of kept me going and realized what I could do to try to be productive here.
Mike, I thought it was fascinating when you talked about coming back here as a Padre and hitting those 2 home runs off Pedro and the reaction that the crowd gave you. But in terms of when you first got here, what was the moment that you felt, okay, I've fulfilled what I'm supposed to do here. I belong here. I want to stay here? Because it wasn't for sure when you got here in '98 that you were going to stay.
No, it was very difficult. And I think that sort of process of the fans not knowing I was pot committed here. You know, they didn't really know if I was all in. And so they wanted to like me. They wanted to embrace me. But it was like, well, he may be gone next year, so let's just see how it plays out. And that sort of anxiety from that, and that sort of just a little bit of confusion was tough. But then I remember when I started hitting the ball well, I remember I got a pinch hit double off McElroy. I think it was '98. And then I hit a big home run in San Diego on our quest to try to get to the postseason that year, which we felt just a little short. And feeling the buzz and feeling those people, and then coming back and walking through the city. And I remember there's a moment I was walking in the West Village after a Sunday night game, and I said, I could do this. I could do this. It was just one of those moments where I felt a little bit of calm. Maybe it was just, you know, God saying to me, this is where you belong, and embrace it. And don't be afraid to dive in both feet and be a New Yorker and let these people know you're with them.
So people talk about the post 9/11 home run, and I think that ends up being your seminal moment as a Met for a lot of fans. But what about for you? Did you have a moment?
I just made, you know, when I think back to the fact, the home run, of course, was really awesome, and the fact that people hold that in such high regard. But the fact that we were all together you know, after that week, and to see the faces and be with people that were able to comfort you. I mean, to me, that was what really allowed me to go out and have that moment, that it was just, we're here. We're trying to you know, show love to each other and try to make some sort of logic out of this and realize that we have to move on, and fortunately we were able to do that.
If we can keep you for one more half inning, we'll be back with more with Mike Piazza when we come back to Citi Field. Mets with a 1-0 lead in the second. That was an amazing night at Shea Stadium. Mike Piazza's return as a San Diego Padre.
Wow.
Who's that number 33? How'd that happen?
I asked Dave Winfield for his number.
Did he give it up?
No.
I mean, Frank
wanted a Rolex.
I just remember that look. No comment on that one. But I was like, hey, Dave, you want to give me one of those looks? Like, no. So, no, it was fun. Yeah, no, it was. But that was a fun year. You know, we had a good bunch of guys on that team. And, you know, that's another thing, too. The fact that we just felt like it was time that we had to move on, you know, and it was just sort of, it wasn't contentious. It was very amicable. And I knew that what I shared here with everyone. And so to go there, but to come back, I mean, you know, I always say if that last home run off Harmon would have went out, it might have been a difference.
That's right.
Well, Ronnie and I were talking about that before the game. You got standing ovations before the first home run, before the second home run. The third one's like, well, wait a second. He's on the other side.
Go easy now, Mike. We love you, but
I know. But no, that was really special. And man, I just remember getting off the field and really being overwhelmed because I'm like, man, you know, this is really cool. People are just, man, it's something special.
Mike, you did an interview with Gary Apple that is going to air in a couple of months, but you talked about your relationship with your teammates and how maybe you weren't always the greatest teammate because you were so focused on your craft. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, I mean, I think, well, you guys know, anybody who played, guys deal with pressure differently, and some guys are more affable. Some guys are more try to laugh it off. For me, I just got withdrawn. I went into my shell, and I think some guys maybe felt like it was just me being obsessed with what I was doing and not that I cared about the team.
Yeah.
But you know, as a pitcher, I mean, it would be impossible for me not to be completely focused on trying to get you through the game, even if I don't get the big hit or the home run, if I go out and catch a 2-hit shutout or make a big play or call that double play in the key situation, that's just as important as getting a home run. So, But yeah, I mean, and I think Al's comment, which, you know, sometimes when you look back, I wish I did enjoy it more.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably my regret. But I felt so much pressure. You know, it just, and it was, and again, that's the way I dealt with it. Like maybe now my mindset would have been a little bit different, but you have to do what you have to do to get the job done.
I totally understood what you meant, because the athlete's the last person that can enjoy what you're doing.
Sure.
I have friends that I've had for life that say, boy, you're such a nice guy now. You weren't the best when you were playing. And it's true. I was ornery,
yes,
a little angry,
sure,
and a little aloof. Like, leave me alone, because if you don't leave me alone, I'm not going to be able to get this done.
You know, yeah, and it's funny. I was making a speech one time, and someone said that. I said, man, you seem like a really nice guy. I said, why don't you come around that table and try and take me out? We'll see. So immediately I was like, I'm a nice guy now, but, you know, I could turn it on like a switch, what you have to do. But, yeah, and then when you get between the lines, it's like you have to have that switch go on, and you got to be, you know, I mean, when you couldn't be happy-go-lucky at times. You had to be focused. And so, you know, unfortunately, when you have so much exposure, especially in New York, maybe less in other places, what's he thinking? What's he doing? Where's he going? And so it gets a little where you have to dial it back a little.
Mike, you're in the Mets Hall of Fame. We always assumed you'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer to Cooperstown, but unfortunately you played in an era where everybody is under suspicion. What are your feelings about all that and how this thing goes forward?
Well, I mean, I think if we could all go back, we would definitely, you know, correct some mistakes from that era. And it's just unfortunate. Everyone is going to be associated, whether you did or not, whether you hit home runs, whether you hit singles, bunted, pitched, you know. So it's just one of the unfortunate things that, you know, again, in a perfect world, we can go back. But, you know, the game has moved on, and they've really tried to you know, move on and make the game as clean as they could. So it is what it is, and hopefully, you know, it keeps going in a good direction.
Well, you'll be there. It's only a matter of time.
Thank you.
Can I ask you one question? You brought something up that was very interesting, because I, as an everyday player, didn't have to call pitches. And you mentioned how you called the double play, nurse a guy through. Did it affect you if your pitching staff went through a slump, and pitching staffs go through slumps? Did it affect you? Did you feel a responsibility with that? And did it affect your hitting?
True, it did. And I tried to separate the two, compartmentalize those two things. But ultimately, I knew, you know, and I think that's the biggest thing coming to the Mets from the Dodgers, is that when I was younger, I didn't have that maturity. So, you know, if I hit a double play and I threw my helmet and then went out there and guys didn't feel I was really with them, because, you know, as pitchers, you know, they're so hypersensitive.
Strange.
They don't feel
strange is a good word, too.
I'm being diplomatic. Crazy could be the good. But so, I mean, you had to, for me, I go, wait a minute. I got to leave that double play that I hit into in the dugout and go out there and block that pitch. Or, because, like I said, that one thing that I can do, maybe you throw a split in the dirt and the tying run on third and I block it, you're like, that's the best thing you can do for me.
Mike, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations on
you
your
guys do a great
today.
job. I love watching you, man. Really.
Thanks, Mike.
Enjoy it.
God bless you.
The one and only Mike Piazza, the newest member of the Mets Hall of Fame. Scooter Jeanette flies out to Mike Baxter as we start the top of the third inning.
Fastball right there. Sometimes you throw pitches that aren't perfect, and you get them back, and you get an out. And that was the case there.
So John Neese has allowed just one base runner over the first 2 1/3. Marco Estrada, one of the better hitting pitchers around, 7 hits already this year and a .219 average, takes a strike. Well, that was fun. I mean, Mike is one of a kind. There are not too many ball players as thoughtful and as deep, and you can kind of understand how, as a superstar in this town, and from the mindset that he approached things with, he was on his own program, and as Estrada strikes out, and you know, different from most of the other superstar players that I've ever been around.
I don't know. I think he's more like most players are, except he was so highly visible. He was such a great player that there was so much attention paid to him, and I think that's what he said. Everyone has to find their little channel, Gary, of how to make it work, and it's usually not roses and whistles. Sometimes it's grumpy. Sometimes it's darkness. That's just how it goes.
Neese has to get over and just gets there in time to retire Aoki, who is not happy at all with C.B. Buckner's call. He thought he had beaten it. Mets get the call. Neese on the race to the bag. Who gets there first? You make the call. Well, maybe Aoki had a case. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Mets with a 1-0 lead. Wilfredo Tovar will lead off in the last of the third against Marco Estrada. Mets got their run in the first inning. A base hit from Eric Young, who stole second, stole third, and came home on a short sacrifice fly. And that's the only run so far against Marco Estrada. Full house at Citi Field today, here for the final day of the season, and to honor Mike Piazza on his induction into the Mets Hall of Fame. And one of the existing Mets Hall of Famers down in the field was Keith. How was it down there?
It was great. It was there was a real warmth out there from the fans, and you felt it up here. You had to feel it. It's a different perspective when you're on the field. It's something you forget about. We're up here above, and I thought Mike gave a really wonderful acceptance speech. It's nice that the Mets remember their veteran players. It's always a good thing. It was nice to see the guys. Nice to see the Piazza family there. It was wonderful. It was kind of an emotional moment there.
Well, especially with his dad, and it was special indeed. And I think that when you talk about the warmth from the Mets fans, it reminds you of the residual love there is for this franchise, just waiting to be unleashed if this team can find some success.
That's a great way to put it. You know, I think Keith and I might take it for granted at times because this was an average crowd when we played every day. And to see this crowd out here is just so inspiring, I'm telling you.
Mookie Wilson and Rusty Staub, Ed Kranepool.
Well, it's always good to see the guys. I haven't seen the glider in a while.
I always looked great, didn't he?
Yes, I always love to see Al Jackson. It was nice to see a Gardo. I haven't seen a Gardo. A Gardo is not around anymore, you know.
So he honestly got amazing amount of applause. Like I didn't realize how loved he is from those teams, because it is. It's the Francos and the Lighters and Alfonsos and of course Mike.
Tovar hits it out to right center, and Aoki gets back for the first. Well, I mean, the generation that has Piazza as their icon, of course, you know, Alfonso was his running mate on all those teams. And you know, we always talked about you know, Piazza getting the big hit, and Alfonso got the stealth hit. You know, he got the RBI that tied the game.
Yeah.
And then Piazza got the game winner. That was Fonzie's role. Always a little bit beneath the surface, but he was beloved.
Listen, 52 years, if you're the best at your position over the 52 years, that says something. And Alfonso was the best second baseman the Mets ever had.
Although, if you remember when we did that show last year honoring the Mets all-time team, he wasn't sure which position he'd get.
That's right.
You know, he was a third baseman before Ventura came along. Of course, third base is taken for a number of years now.
Locked.
He's had a good hitting year, hitting at 211, and Estrada falls behind him 3-1. Eric Young, we'll see what more he has in his bag of tricks when he comes up next. Got this game off to a scintillating start, and there's strike 3 and 2 to Neese.
And for you fans out there who showed a real love for Mike and the older players today, I don't know if it translates into wins or losses, but I will tell you there is a mutual feeling that you start to get when you play on a team, or for a team in a number of years, where people come out, they push you up to another level. If you're 6'2", you feel 6'3". If you throw 90, you throw 92. If you need a big hit, you get it. It's just it's amazing back and forth when you have those special times.
Well, that leads to an inevitable question with all the conversation that we've had over the last few days about the Mets' recent failures at home. I mean, it's kind of a chicken and egg thing, right? If you play better, more people come out to watch you. If more people come out to watch you, then you have a chance to play better. And he strikes out for the second out of the inning. So 2 out now, Eric Young, and he had a dynamic trip around the bases in the first.
Well, this gives him the lead and a little insurance.
And then the boot coming home on the very short sacrifice fly.
His dad stole 50 a couple of seasons, so I don't know. Let's see what happens.
He's got 46 now. Since the base hit by Young, Estrada's retired 8 in a row. Watching Estrada hide behind that glove makes me think of Andy Pettitte and what he accomplished last night.
How did he do that? I mean, 2006 was his last complete game. In fact, Andy was quoted, I thought it was pretty funny. He had a no-hitter, if you guys remember, a few weeks ago through 6. And after the game, he didn't get the no-hitter. And after the game, people were asking, did he think he was going to get the no-hitter? He said, well, maybe, but who's going to finish it?
And Halton able to stay on the bag, and Young is retired for the 3rd out. Well, that's the way to go out, isn't it?
Boy, the best.
Don't have to leave anything in the tank.
Shaking hands.
Nothing to save it for. We go to the 4th inning at Citi Field. John Neese in his final start of the year, working with a 1-0 lead. Let's check in with Gary Apple, who's standing by with John Franco. Gary?
All right, Gary, thank you so much. John played with Mike for 7 years. Good to see you, John. What made Mike, in your opinion, such a special player?
Well, we knew, what he did out in L.A., and once we got him here, we knew that he was the face of the organization. We finally had that bona fide superstar in our lineup, someone who could change the outcome of a game in one swing of a bat, and someone who could carry a team for 2 weeks the way he swung the bat, and he just did that.
When you found out you had acquired him, what was the general feeling inside the clubhouse?
Oh, everybody was ecstatic. I mean, everybody was happy. We were getting one of the top 5 players in the game at the time, and for him to come over here and be one of the leaders on the field and just carry the team the way he did, and just one of the great guy in the locker room.
What was he like to throw to?
He was great. Everybody talks about his catching. I mean, everybody knew he had a little problems throwing guys out. But as far as calling the game, blocking balls, I've seen him get hit with so many backswings from hitters and stay in the game. Blocking balls late in the game. I mean, I had history of throwing balls in the dirt, and he blocked a whole bunch of them late in the game. And I had a lot of confidence in him. He was a good receiver, called a good game, and it was just a pleasure to throw to.
Bianchi singles out in center field. Lagares picks it up. One of the things that the guys spoke about with Mike in the last half inning, and that we spoke about when we sat down and talked this week, was the fact that he did not consider himself a great teammate. Did you sense that? Well,
Mike was more or less kept to himself. Yeah. And Al Leiter and myself and Todd Zeal, we used to have to just drag him out sometimes and have lunch and dinner. But Mike did his own thing, and that's what got him through. That's why he was such a great player. He did his own thing. He didn't rely on anybody. He knew what he had to do to get ready for a game. He knew what he had to do to prepare himself for a season. And you know what? You're not going to why mess with success?
Yeah, he was such a huge part of the success of your team, certainly that 99 and 2000 team. Was he the cornerstone, in your opinion, even though he didn't always lead by example as far as getting out, socializing with the teammates? Was he the rock of that team?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you had Mike Piazza in the lineup, he was the rock. He put fear in the opposing team. And you didn't want to miss an at-bat because every at-bat could be something special. One of Mike's famous words after he hit a long home run was, "I just tapped it." And he used to tap a lot of them.
Well, he certainly hit a home run that a lot of people to this day still refer to, still talk about. That was the home run following 9/11. Do you remember that moment?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I remember being in the dugout, and when Mike hit that home run, the crowd was kind of quiet. He hit that home run, he just woke everybody up. People were cheering, crying, waving the USA flags. The hair on our arms was sticking up. It was something to remember that gave the city and the fans just 3 hours of putting a Band-Aid on a big wound, and Mike did that.
Jonathan Lucroy signals to put runners at first and second. A lot has been made of the fact that he's not in the Hall of Fame yet, didn't get in on his first try. Is he unquestionably a Hall of Famer?
Oh, absolutely. This is just the first little step right now, the Met Hall of Fame. But hopefully next year in July they'll vote Mike into the Hall of Fame, and it'll be another happy occasion for the Piazza family.
Good to be with you, John. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Gary.
To the plate by Young, and they get him.
Jeff Bianchi out at the plate, trying to score on Eric Young, who's having himself quite an afternoon.
Well, he overthrows the cutoff man. Airmails this, but it's right on target. The runners advance. Boy, oh boy, it's close at the plate, isn't it?
He's safe.
And there's that bad slide again.
But he gets the hand in. Watch his hand.
If he gets his foot down, you're in. But let's see. I thought he would. I mean, it's close.
Santana with the tag on the back. Did he get him before the hand came down?
But you see, hit the foot there, the lead foot. If you slide with the other foot forward, you're safe.
I was wrong. He got him on the back before he got his hand in there. Absolutely wrong.
So Eric Young puts a notch in his belt. Runners advance to second and third on the throw home. So it's still a 1-0 Met lead. Unieski Betancourt the batter. The infield is back. And East throws the curveball low and in, 2-0.
Mets pitchers keep throwing those ground ball outs to the outfielders, don't they? Just another base hit, another guy thrown out at home.
Lagares yesterday picked up his 14th outfield assist of the season.
I don't know where that slide was developed. That slide was never around. And that slide, let's see that if you slide with your left foot forward, the other foot, look how much further that foot is. Somebody would have touched home plate. It's a terrible slide.
And there's ball 4, and so Betancourt draws a walk. So 4 straight have reached base against Nice. That's his second walk. And now the base is loaded with 1 out for Sean Halton, and Dan Worthen will take a visit out to the mound.
Think anyone tells people that that's a bad slide?
I don't know. I don't know where it came from, but it came around the 90s. So saw it a lot. Carlos Beltran did it a lot.
So think of what you're doing. What you're doing is you're sliding to the plate, and instead of the thing that's closest to the plate to touch the plate, you're deciding to touch with your hand, which comes after your foot, which would touch the base first.
You can do the Maury Wells hook slide.
Yeah, you do that.
And it gets there faster. It makes sense.
Well, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. You slide straight in, hit your foot on the plate, and you get there fastest, right?
If you would have slid even into Centeno, you would have knocked him, over T-Kettle.
Well, he did not block the entire play with his left leg. There was room to go in straight.
When it's a close play, you want to get your foot in before the tag, and it's safe no matter where you are, whether it's a hook slide or straight in. And that's a judgment you make as you begin your slide. Now the throw was behind him from left field, but we don't need to obsess on it. He was out.
He was indeed. Sean Halton lined out to right field his first time up.
No obsessing on game 162.
That's right. Day after the penultimate game.
This would be the ultimate. Right after the penultimate. By the way, swing for the fences with the new Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Available on iPhone and iPad and select Android devices. Download free today. One, 2 from Nice. And he misses inside. By the way, the final day of the season is fertile ground for no hitters.
Yeah.
In Miami, Henderson Alvarez has no hit the Tigers for 7 innings.
That's a good lineup.
Unfortunately, he has not yet received a run of support. He's still facing Justin Verlander. But Verlander, you figure, is not going to go more than 6, right?
I think you folks don't understand. What does that mean? Why is the last day? Well, what happens is guys are ready to get on their flights. They're swinging first pitch, and the next thing you know, they're in the 5th inning and they haven't got a hit. That's why those things kind of happen.
Mike Witt threw a perfect game the final day of the season in 1984. It took an hour and 49 minutes. 3-2 to Halton with the bases full. And the curveball fouled off. Interesting choice there. 3-2 curve with the bases full.
Shows a lot of confidence, doesn't it? How many innings do we have to play today to beat the record, by the way? We have a record of.
The Mets have played 57 extra innings. The team record is 60, so they'd have to play 13 innings today to break the record. Slow ground ball. Can they turn 2? Murphy with the shovel. Tovar the turn. Not in time. Duda thought he had him. Nice thought he had him. C.B. Buckner, who's already made one bad call at first base, might have blown that one as well. And Terry Collins will come out to argue. So everybody on the field thought it was an out, except for C.B. Buckner, who has had a dreadful last week of the season calling plays on the bases. So that scores the tying run, and it's a 1-1 game, and Terry Collins may get himself ejected in the last game of the season.
Well, CB's handling it well. Not much. He's not even answering. He just.
Well, he was out.
Clearly
he wasn't close.
Out half a step.
Well, he called Aoki out at first base in the last inning, and he was safe. And now he calls Halton safe at first base, and he was out.
What can you say?
Well, you can say that C.B. Buckner has made some dreadful calls. He had the play the other day in the Philadelphia-Miami game where Cesar Jimenez tagged a runner with his bare hand while the ball was in his glove, and he called the runner, Christian Yelich, out. And, you know, you can only make so many bad calls in most lines of work without losing your job. Doesn't work that way for umpires, apparently. 1-1 to Logan Schaefer. Schaefer took a call third strike his first time up. Now Neese thought he had the inning over with. Still battling with Schaefer. For that last pitch, Carlos Gomez wandered about 40 feet down the line from third base.
All you have to do if you need, just step off once, get him back there. He's not going anywhere.
Slow ground ball, tough play, and Murphy has no play, and the Brewers take the lead. An infield hit for Schaefer brings in Gomez, and it's 2-1 Milwaukee. So the bad call at first has now cost the Mets 2 runs.
Well, nothing you can do about this. This is just a little bleeder with a ribeye on it. On the bone. Hang with them.
It's more expensive, that bone and ribeye.
What can you do but shake your head?
Yeah.
John Neese just got a visit from David Wright, trying to settle him down. Now we'll try and get Scooter Gennett, who flied out to right his first time up. A curveball in for a strike. Keeping an eye on the American League wildcard race, Cleveland got a 2-run homer from Nick Swisher in the first inning in Minnesota, and the Indians are up 2-0 on the Twins. If Cleveland wins, they're home free. They're in the wildcard game. They've got a 1-game lead on Tampa Bay and Texas. 0-2 to Gennett.
Texas has the pitcher they want out there, Yu Darvish, who's been their best. He's a strikeout machine.
But he's facing Jason Vargas, you know, who's capable of throwing a shutout. He's done that. Angels had a very disappointing year, but a chance to play spoiler on the game on the season's last day. Tampa Bay put up a 6th spot in the first inning and cruising over Toronto 7-0 now in the 5th.
Who's pitching for Tampa Bay? Is it Archer? No, it's not Archer. Archer pitched yesterday.
Out, yeah.
Matt Moore,
yes.
55. Yeah, lefty.
Boy, Cincinnati losing what? 5 straight going into playoffs.
Gennett with the base hit, and they're going to send the runner. Lagares with the throw on a hop. Centeno makes the tag. Side retired. 2 runners thrown out at the plate of the inning. One by Young, and now Lagares guns down Halton to end the inning. Centeno, a great job to go get it and put on the tag. 15 outfield assists for Juan Lagares, and that ends the inning. Similar to the play yesterday. It is time for the Verizon Files upgrade with Ron Darling.
Well, I think the upgrade is going to be about the position. Keith yesterday talked about Lagares and what he has to do to be a better offensive player. I don't know what I can say that will upgrade what he does as the defensive position, because I've honestly never seen a young man get to a ball as quick as he does, able to release it as quick as he does, and get the ball on the plate as well as he does. He's just pretty amazing, considering he was an infielder at some point.
And this throw, much like yesterday, up the line a bit. He got him with the tag, it looks like.
Centeno is such an athletic, quick catcher.
Yesterday, the play on Lucroy, very similar. He got tagged on the shoulder by Anthony Recker. Verizon Files making life more entertaining with America's fastest, most reliable internet. That's powerful. So Nice gave up 5 hits in that 4th inning with a walk and a bad call against him at first base, and only gave up the 2 runs because Young and Lagares each threw out a runner at the plate. So now Marco Estrada with the lead for the first time. Duda struck out his first time up. 15 outfield assists. That's quite a year for Mr. Lagares.
Certainly is.
Considering he didn't start playing regularly till the middle of June. I think the Met Club record is 19 outfield assists in the season. So he's not going to reach that this year. The problem is, well, it's not a problem, but the truth is that teams will stop running on him. Duda strikes out for the 2nd time. That's 4 for Estrada, who's now retired 10 in a row. It's shocking that teams have not stopped running on him already.
Do you think it's late in the year and third base coaches are trying to get some ribeye steaks for their hitters and being more aggressive? I don't know. I don't know if that's a fact or not.
Well, Jeanette has lost 2 RBIs the last 2 days because of Lagares.
That's
as the play from yesterday. And the funny thing is, if you think back, the 2 throws he's made the last 2 days, probably 2 of the worst throws he's made all year.
But again, he gets rid of it so quick. He allows his catcher, even on a throw that's not perfect, to make an athletic play. I'm going to call him Chuck Connors, the rifleman, right?
David Wright hits one out to left center field, and back goes Schaefer to get it. 2 out. Ask you guys this, because you guys played in an era where there were a lot of right fielders with great arms, whether it was Dave Parker, Vladimir Guerrero, Corey Snyder.
Yeah.
Center fielders with great arms. I mean,
it's not always the case. In my generation of players, you had the quick guy, the speedy guy, didn't necessarily have a great arm but could go get it. The right fielder was always traditionally the guy who had the best arm. I mean, Strawberry for the Mets had an incredible arm, but he couldn't get rid of it like Lagares gets rid of it.
The guy I think of, the guy I always think of when I think of defense in the last 20 years is Andrew Jones, and he had a great arm.
He had a great arm.
But there just aren't that many center fielders who throw that well.
The guy I thought, and he wasn't a center fielder, but I used to love to watch him throw in his prime, was Jesse Barfield.
He had a great arm, yes. They had the 2 outfielders. They had, was it Lloyd Mosby? Lloyd Mosby and Barfield came up together. I remember Red Shandies thought that Barfield was going to be. Red never said anything, and he thought that Barfield was going to be one of the great players.
Murphy laces a base hit into left center. So Murph will finish the season with an 11-game hitting streak. His 188th hit of the year. Another guy who played for the Mets later in his career. How about Ellis Valentine?
Yeah. 4-seam fastball, paint on the outside corner.
And it's straight.
Valentine had a great arm. So Corey Snyder, Rob Deere had a great arm.
Dave Winfield, Dave Parker.
Yep. You keep going. You had to have a great arm really to play right field.
There goes Murphy. The throw by Lucroy, not in time. 22 in a row for Daniel Murphy. It's not the 2nd longest streak in Mets history.
Well, I'd be mad if I was Lucroy. I mean, Estrada's not even paying any attention to either Young and now Murph. No chance for Lucroy. Perfect strike. Not even close.
23 on the year for Murphy, and 22 successful stolen base attempts in a row, 4 behind Howard Johnson's club record. Baxter lifts one to shallow center field, and there is Gomez to end the inning. We head to the 5th on the season's final day with the Mets down 2-1. Bringing their edgy take on New York sports to SNY, breaking it all down with their unique fans' perspective. Don't miss the premiere of the Covino and Rich Show, presented by Coors Light, tomorrow at 6 p.m. right here on SNY. Got a sponsor. Marco Estrada leads off in the 5th inning. Estrada struck out his first time up. He's in a rough 4th inning, gave up 5 hits and 2 runs in that inning, helped out by a couple of outfield assists from Young and Lagares. By the way, C.B. Buckner made the bad call at first. By the way, the Met record for assists in a season for an outfielder is 19, and it's set by a guy who's in the building today, Rusty Staub.
Well, Big Orange always gets under the radar.
1974, Rusty had 19 assists. Popped up by Estrada, and Murphy grabs it for the first down. So it's time for our final AT&T trivia question of the year. Mike Piazza, one of 4 players with 4 career walk-off home runs for the Mets. Who are the other 3? 4 career walk-off home runs.
I got it. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
Well, I think he's one of them is in the Cardinal uniform right now, isn't he?
That makes some sense.
Right.
Oh yeah, Aoki takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Aoki is 0 for 2 today. Now that's an ugly swing.
Aoki can look ugly. He's running to first base. Like the Japanese like to hit that way. Ichiro, they kind of run into first base. Sometimes they start too early, and that's what you get.
Slap to third. Wright comes in to play the hop. 2 out.
Well, you see here he's open with his stance. And he's already ready to run, but when the ball's away, all you can do is slap it.
That being said, he's quite a bargain, isn't he?
He's a nice player.
Yeah.
They just picked up his option for next year. The option was $1.5 million.
Yeah, he's like Chu Light, you know, Shin Soo Choo.
You say $1.5 million, like it's a bag of peanuts.
It is. That's what it is.
I'll take it.
For a leadoff hitter with a .356 on base percentage, he's had himself a heck of a year. I mean, think about, Keith, if you were playing today in your prime, what would you be worth on the open market?
What would Mickey Mantle be worth? Come on, what would Sandy Koufax be worth? It's all relative. But not that good. But you know what? It's all about the position. I mean, one of the best things that Marvin Miller ever did was allow the players to know what the other players were making.
Right.
And that was one thing.
Well, the bat fortunately hits the backstop. No damage done.
There was a day when you didn't know what I didn't know what Steve Garvey was making, and that just opened up the whole can of worms.
It was that also. It was so smart that free agency wasn't every year, that it was 6 years. Because if you had the market flooded with everyone every year, there'd be too much competition. You just want a few of the great athletes coming out every year to try to test what they can get.
Curveball hits to short. Tovar's got it. Side retired. 1-2-3 inning for John Neese. Halfway through on the season's final day. 2-1 Milwaukee. Mets Hall of Fame, the Mets, SNY, and City congratulate Mike on this tremendous honor. He's the 16th player and the 27th person overall inducted into the Mets Hall of Fame.
Did you see his mother? The mother was just beaming from ear to ear, and what he said about her, taking him to the ballpark, doing the laundry, cooking the meals. We all know about moms, and they're the best.
Juan Lagares leads off at the bottom of the 5th. Lagares struck out his first time up. In Miami, they're going to the 9th inning. The Tigers and Marlins no score. Henderson Alvarez working on a no-hitter through 8.
Wow.
He has not walked a batter. He did hit Prince Fielder with a pitch in the first inning, so it's not a perfect game attempt. But so Alvarez on the game, the year's final day, trying for a no-hitter, but who knows if they'll get him a run.
Boy, Cincinnati, really, if they lose today, that's ending on a bad note.
Well, it's not today that matters for them. It's Tuesday.
Of course. But Pittsburgh's got to be feeling very good, like on a roll going in. And Cincinnati's got to feel like, well, we got to regroup. get on an airplane and go to play in an unfriendly ballpark and pull it out somehow.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Last year, the 2 wild cards, the away teams won both games.
Lagares out on strikes. 1 down in the 5th. Let's check in with Gary Apple. Gary.
All right, Gary, thank you so much. You know, Mike Piazza, when we sat down and spoke this week, one of the things I asked him, who he considered to be his contemporaries, you know, when it comes to the greatest catchers of all time, where he would put himself in that list. Fisk, Yogi, Johnny Bench. He said, no pun intended, that Johnny Bench was the benchmark when it comes to the greatest catcher of all time. Terrific offense, terrific defense, great athleticism, and a World Series champion. He said he thought Bench was the perfect catching specimen. But Mike did go on to say that he thought he was a better overall hitter than Johnny was. That Johnny pulled the ball more, but Mike, and he said the numbers will bear it out, made him a better hitter, could use the entire field. Also talked about the fact that Mike Scioscia, when he came up with the Dodgers, really helped him defensively. And he stated over and over again that he does consider himself a better defensive catcher than people have given him credit for. He said Scioscia was big in helping him block balls behind the plate, number one, and block the plate as runners were trying to score. So 2 pretty big names right there that Mike threw out, and pretty good company to be associated with.
Well, he's certainly correct about Johnny Bench, and I can tell you one thing. Mike would have loved playing 81 games at Riverfront Stadium. That ball carried there to all fields, and Mike would have had a field day in that yard.
You know, Johnny Franco made the point about Mike's defense earlier. He said, you know, Mike may not have had the best success throwing out base runners, but the other part of the catching game, he was no slouch. But because catchers are often judged by their throwing arms, the perception is that Mike was not a good defensive catcher. Two and two to Centeno, grounded out to second base his first time up, and he floats one foul. By the way, in that game in Miami, just want to note that Tigers are preparing for postseason play. They started Justin Verlander today. He went 6. And then Jim Leyland used Doug Fister for an inning, Rick Porcello for an inning, so he's getting all his starters some time in that game. Let's see who pitches the bottom of the 9th. Centeno out on strikes, back-to-back strikeouts for Estrada to start the 5th. And Henderson Alvarez has the first 2 outs in the top of the 9th.
Wow.
With the no-hit bid intact.
Wow. The game is flying. Change up again.
6 strikeouts for the Mets once again early.
Now Wilfredo Tovar with 2 out. Tovar fly to right his first time up. And Alvarez just struck out Matt Tuiasosopo. 9 no-hit innings for Henderson Alvarez. Now the question is, can he win the game as Miami comes up in the bottom of the 9th? So if he does not get a run in the bottom of the 9th and he comes out of the game, it's not a no-hitter.
Not a no-hitter. Yes. I played on a team for a very short time because they couldn't stand my pitching. The Montreal Expos, that on a Friday night, Mark Gardner threw 9 no-hit innings.
I like
lost the game in the 10th.
Go ahead.
Didn't translate in Canada. And then on Sunday, El Presidente threw a perfect game. 3 days. I mean,
they actually loved you in Montreal. Because you spoke French.
I could do the interviews in French. I think that's why they kept me there for like 4 or 5 days.
Well, I want you to know that I love the way you pitch.
Tovar pops one up. Holton stays with it and makes the play. And Estrada has himself a 1-2-3 bottom of the 5th. On we go to the 6th with Milwaukee up 2-1. by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Plan your holiday party with Metropolitan Hospitality at Citi Field, New York's world-class event destination, featuring superb cuisine, 5-star service, and exquisite spaces for every event. Book your holiday party now at metropolitanhospitality.com. Jonathan Lucroy leads off the 6th inning against John Neese. Terry Collins had said that Neese was going to be limited to 80 or 85 pitches today. I'm not sure why. I mean, there's nothing wrong with John. He's been back from the disabled list for 6-7 weeks now and has pitched wonderfully. Line in the left field, a base hit for Lucroy. But there was some trepidation about Neese pitching today in the first place. John definitely wanted to pitch, and I don't know why there'd be a short halter on him today.
I'll tell you, when you're losing 2-1, you don't want to come out of any game. You want to get yourself a Willie before you get out.
You don't want a Larry.
Yeah.
Well, there's Greg Burke and Tim Burdack up in the bullpen, so it looks like Neese may indeed be limited. Now Carlos Gomez, who had 4 hits yesterday, a walk and a single today. He also stole his 40th base of the year, which makes Gomez the first Brewer ever with 20 home runs and 40 steals in the same season.
Braun probably was 40 and 20, right? 40 home runs and 20 steals.
Fly ball to right, and Baxter's got it for the first out. Well, yesterday, Gomez became the first former Met to have 2 4-hit games against the Mets in the same season.
First?
Yeah, first. In fact, there are only 2 other former Mets who've had 2 4-hit games against the Mets in their career. Alex Trevino and Preston Wilson.
Alex Trevino, cut and slasher. Alex is working with the Houston Astro organization.
Longtime broadcaster for them on their Spanish network. Ground ball, Tovar to his right. Nice feed to Murphy, and the Mets turn 2. 6-4-3 double play. Tovar, by the way, has looked brilliant at shortstop.
Yes, he has.
For the Mets. Tomorrow, get a breakdown of today's Jets and Giants Week 4 matchups with all the latest news and reactions, plus a look at what's ahead for the Mets on Daily News Live, presented by Citi, tomorrow at 5, only on SNY. Well, John Neese is done after 6 innings. His only chance to get a win on the season's final day if the Mets can get him a couple of runs here in the 6th. So John throws exactly 80 pitches in 6 innings in his final start of the year. Josh Satin will pinch hit for him. Satin, then Young and Duda for the Mets in the bottom of the 6th. Curveball strike to Satin, 0-1.
He's got that nice first pitch curveball for a strike. Get me over, automatic.
The Marlins have 2nd and 3rd and 1 out in the bottom of the 9th, trying to secure Henderson Alvarez's no-hitter.
Okay, so you score the run, you win the game. Do you hug the guy who scores the run? Do you hug the guy that drove in the run? Or do you hug the pitcher?
Pitcher. It's a no-hitter.
We're going to have to watch because I'm not sure they know what they're doing.
I don't know. Has there ever been a walk-off no-hitter?
I've never heard of it.
How about that? That'd be bitter. Well, it wouldn't be. Yeah, would not be able to celebrate on the.
Well, he's on the top step of the dugout. You know that. Satin goes down on strikes. 7 strikeouts for Estrada. Let's check in with Chris Carlin in the studio for a game break presented by your local Tri-Honda dealer. That was very interesting to watch because Alvarez celebrating after 9, but it's like, oh, I can't really celebrate yet. I don't have this yet.
What if the manager tells you you're out of the game, you can't throw any more pitches, so you go shower, catch your plane. So why not even be there for the no-hitter?
0-2 to Young, who singled, stole 2nd and 3rd, and scored the Mets run in the 1st inning. And he lifts this one foul. So Coughlin is batting against Luke Peconin in the bottom of the 9th, trying to get Alvarez that run. There's already been 1 wild pitch in the inning. Maybe that's the way to go. Okay. 0-2 from Estrada. And Young fouls one off the fists.
Estrada's smart. He throws a little get-me-over curveball to start you. Then he slams you inside with some cheese and then goes away with the cambio. It's perfect.
He's had a great stretch run. You know, they shut him down on the disabled list with a hamstring injury, much as they did with Giovanni Gallardo. And just as Gallardo has bounced back wonderfully, so has Estrada, who strikes out Young for the 2nd out.
2 fastballs inside, ties you up, change up away.
Nice change.
They've been doing it since like 1887. They've been doing that. Beautiful. Again, that great grip. Deep in the palm, takes the speed away. The turnover fades it away.
8 strikeouts, 1 shy of a season high for Estrada. He's gotten Duda twice today. Time today, Estrada's behind 2-0. He hasn't walked the batter, struck out 8, given up 1 run and 2 hits. Popped up. And the third baseman Betancourt waiting for it. Side retired. So no chance for John Neese to win on the game's final day. We'll go to the 7th with the Brewers up 2-1. Titans Jets as they take on the Titans in today's game, with a constant flow of up-to-the-minute news and opinion, plus fan discussions, player profiles, and exclusive video on Jets blog, featured on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by State Farm. Today's State Farm agent of the day is the great Pat Cauley of Glendale, New York. Contact Pat's office at patcauley.com. Who are those guys? By Mazda. If it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. And by Geico.
That was in Florida where Pat took that picture. Pat's moving into a new house, by the way. So good luck, Pat.
Josh Satin stays in the game at first base. Gonzalez Herman will pitch the 7th inning. Herman pitched 2 nights ago, faced 5 batters, retired them all. Sean Halton will be the first man to face him. Halton was the beneficiary of that bad call at first base in the 4th inning to drive in the first Milwaukee run. And he takes a strike from Herman. Well, in Miami, Chris Coghlan walked. Miami now has the bases loaded, and they just won the game on a wild pitch in the bottom of the 9th. And Henderson Alvarez has his first career no-hitter.
Wow.
Greg Dobbs was at the plate, and Luke Peconin threw a wild pitch. Miami wins it 1-0, and Henderson Alvarez pitches the 3rd no-hitter in the major leagues this year.
Forget about this game. Let's go to Chris Carlin. He's got to have something for us, doesn't he?
I just want to see what the celebration looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, wild pitch, run scores. Who do they hug? It's got to be Alvarez, right? Inside to Halton, it's 2-1. Well, that's great. Good for Alvarez. And that, you know, the Mets are loaded for the future with great young pitching. So are the Marlins.
Yes. Well, you saw when Chris Carlin gave us that little shot. There's the score. In Miami, the one cheering the loudest was Jose Fernandez in the top step of that dugout. Shut down a few weeks ago. Still into it.
And Halton out on strikes, so Herman fans the first man to face him. Well, Homer Bailey, 2nd of his career. Tim Lincecum out of nowhere. And Henderson Alvarez on the season's final day authors a no-hitter for the Marlins. There were 7 no-hitters last year in the major leagues, including Johan Santana. And a couple of perfect games last year, too, right? Matt Cain and Philip Humber. Here's Logan Schaefer, who had an infield hit to drive in the go-ahead run in the 4th inning. And a fastball strike. Meanwhile, in the games that affect Ronnie's travel schedule, Tampa Bay's lead on Toronto is now 7-3 as they go to the 7th inning.
Dwindling.
Cleveland leads Minnesota 2-0 in the 5th. And the Angels got a Mike Trout home run off Yu Darvish in the 1st inning. 1-0. The Angels lead the Rangers. Now, if Cleveland wins and Texas loses, there's no playoff, no tiebreaker.
Yes, that's right.
Then Cleveland and Tampa Bay would be in.
Right.
Assuming Tampa Bay wins.
That means I'll fly tomorrow to Pittsburgh.
So you'll do the Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game. That'll be a great atmosphere.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Wait.
Look fun. It'll be fun, big time.
First ever postseason game at PNC Park. 2-2 now to Schaefer.
You know, it's a nice little touch when you're lucky enough to do postseason baseball that you're at a ballpark where you can walk to the hotel, because there's so many people. There's no way to get back to your hotel. So walking's the best.
Swing and a miss. Good changeup by Herman, and he has back-to-back strikeouts. Let's answer our AT&T trivia question. The 3 other Mets beside Mike Piazza who have had 4 career walk-off home runs for the Mets: Cleon Jones, Kevin McReynolds, and Chris Jones. Wow.
The right fielder that started with Philadelphia?
Played in the early 90s. I remember one that he did not get credit for that was off the foul pole, and they called a foul ball.
Really?
But I did not remember him having 4 walk-off home runs, because he wasn't a Met for very long. Boy, Herman has that good changeup working today.
That was a good trivia question. I thought
Chris
Beltran would be in
wow.
Look at that's inflatable. It's not even the styrofoam one.
That's a second-rate cheese head.
It's weak. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Oh, tough economy.
Easier to pack that way when it's inflatable.
All right, Chris Jones was a Met in 95 and 96. Had a total of 364 at-bats. 364 plate appearances as a Met. Hit 12 home runs as a Met, and 4 of them were walk-offs.
Wow.
Yeah, that might be one of those, like the security guys downstairs give me those trivia questions. Who were the 3 guys that did this? By the time we're done, it's 6 guys. My buddy Dominic downstairs.
I've never seen so many guys swing and miss. As a hitter, it's depressing.
They're man ahead on Jeanette, 1-2. And that's hit hard, and that's a foul ball. Jeanette pauses to stare at C.B. Buckner before he heads back. Are you sure, C.B.?
I thought
Dave had a tough day.
I thought it caught a little piece of C.B.
Well, C.B. got turned around and had to wait a moment before he made his call. Rolled out to Murphy, and that retires the side. So here man turns in a 1-2-3 inning. 7th inning stretch time on the final day of the season, with the Mets trailing the Brewers 2-1. Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Mets will be coming to bat in the bottom of the 7th inning. Today wraps up the 2013 season. It's been nice having Gary Apple with us all weekend, filling in for Kevin Burkhardt. Let's check in with Gary.
All right, Gary, thank you so much. A lot of speculation about the managerial future of Terry Collins. Have been reports out that he is going to be extended as the manager of the Mets. And I went to somebody inside that Mets clubhouse who's played for a lot of managers, and that's LaTroy Hawkins. 19 years in the big leagues, 10 different teams. He could recount 13 different managers that he has played for, and I've got the list right in front of me here, and it's a relatively relatively long list. Tom Kelly, Ron Gardenhire, Dusty Baker, Felipe Alou, Joe Girardi, Clint Hurdle, Cecil Cooper, Dave Clark, Ken Maka, Mike Socha, Ron Renicky, Sam Palazzo, and now Terry Collins. He didn't think he left anybody out. He said that's a pretty good managerial list that he can build upon. He said Terry Collins, he believes, is the right guy to lead the Mets into the future. He said he is a tremendous communicator. He communicates well with players. He thinks that is a terrific quality for a manager and managerial success. He also said he has the respect of the players. He speaks to the players like men, and that's a huge thing in gaining clubhouse trust, which he believes Terry Collins has, and a big reason why he thinks Terry is the guy to continue on as the Mets manager. But again, 13 managers that he could remember, guys.
Boy, that's some list. I have to say, Gary, thank you so much for coming and joining us this weekend. I'm one of the few that get to work with you in studio, and you are a pro's pro. So thanks for being there, buddy.
Ronnie, that's really nice. So what a treat. Watch you guys, love you guys, best in the business. To spend this weekend with you guys has been terrific, and I thank you for the hospitality.
You've come up short in only one aspect, Gary. Mets are looking for their first win in the Apple regime.
No, trust me, my wife has reminded me of that when I've been at home. I'm feeling the pressure down here.
Well, David Wright will try and do something to help you out. Starting off the bottom of the 7th against Marco Estrada. David has driven in the only Met run today with a sacrifice fly in the first. And quickly up in the count 3-0. Daniel Murphy and Mike Baxter to follow. This might well be David's last at bat of the year. As he takes a strike, Terry Collins said before the game he might well take Wright and or Murphy out of the game early. Maybe different in a one-run game, but he'd like to get David one more ovation before the season's over. Of course, David could generate one for himself right here with a big swing.
Big swing, or get on base and take him out for a pinch hitter so the fans get a chance.
Facing Marco Estrada, who has struck out 8 today and allowed just 2 hits. And David pops it up. Scooter Gennett makes the call. 1 out.
The Brewers have pitched David consistently in the series.
You see LaCroix set up in, and he gets it in and jams David. And the focus always. The hitter has to focus. Pitcher has to focus. The umpire's even focusing. Oh, he closed his eyes.
David's weren't closed, wide open.
But popped him up, got a little bit in on him.
C.J. Rayburn eyes wide shut. He's had a good game behind the plate. Here's Murphy, who had a base hit in the 4th inning to extend his hitting streak to 11 games. Daniel Murphy today playing in his 161st game of the season. Just the 6th man in Mets history to play as many as 161 games in a year. Drives this one to right, but right at Aoki, who battles the sun and wins. 2 out. 2 Mets have played in 162 games. Look at Aoki making that grab. Felix Millan in 1975, John Oliver in 1999. The others to play in 161, Robin Ventura, Jose Reyes, and Carlos Beltran, the last to do it in 2008. And now Murphy joins that contingent, playing in 161. Dick Black up in the Mets bullpen. 2 out and nobody on for Mike Baxter, and he takes the first pitch curveball for a strike. So the Tigers get no hit today.
Yeah.
Going into the postseason, they'll start what, Thursday, Friday, right?
Friday against Oakland.
Getting no hit the last day of the season, does that have any discernible impact on you as you start your postseason run?
Well, did you look at the lineup?
Yeah.
Did they have the?
It was Scrabini Central. Yeah.
So I don't think it would have any carryover. What carries over, I think, is Cincinnati dropping the 3 game, getting swept by Pittsburgh, and also the Mets before them.
Be 5 in a row if they lose today. The Yankee makes the catch on the pop-up, side retired. 10 in a row retired by Estrada. He's been terrific, and the Brewers lead 2-1. Go to the 8th inning. Vic Black will pitch for the second straight day.
Pitched in yesterday's ball game, gave up a run in the 8th innings. Turned it around here today.
Gonzalez Herman worked a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. Looks like Henderson Alvarez is done for the day. Caleb Gindel has come out to be a pinch hitter for him. So Alvarez a terrific start. Second straight start in which he gave up just 2 hits in 7 innings. Did the same against the Braves. So Vic Black, who figures to be a big part of the Mets bullpen next year, getting ready for the top of the 8th inning. Well, all week long we have been listening to Keith's scouting reports on some of the young Met hitters. We haven't had a chance to talk about Wilmer Flores. He hasn't been in a game the last few days. But what about Wilmer, Keith?
Well, it's too bad that Wilmer, turned that ankle because he was off to such a hot start. And I mean, it happened in that West Coast trip in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Very innocently took his eye off the bag. 22 years old, that comes in his favor. Again, a guy that needs a position. He's not going to play third base. We wanted to see him at second. Gets hurt, doesn't get a chance to play second. So we don't know about that. He goes naturally the other way. That's a strength of his. Has a good knowledge of the strike zone. Again, a lot like Lagares, they started pitching him inside, and he's had difficulty in. But it's hard to make an evaluation on Flores because of the ankle. And remember, he was taking some swings, Gary, where he was practically falling down on the plate. He was hurting so badly. So it really had to affect his hitting. Now, outlook, 22 years of age. You don't know what the Mets are going to be doing in regard to first base. Are they going to move Murph to first? I mean, obviously Wright's an anchor at third base. So for any opportunity,
Young comes in to pick off the liner, 1 out.
For Flores, it's going to have to be, there's Kinsler up in the bullpen. It's going to have to be at second base. That's going to be his opportunity. And his weaknesses are he doesn't run well. Remember, he hit in the clutch too early. But I see a lot of similarities between him and Lagares as far as having difficulty with that pitch inside.
Jerry's Familia up in the Mets bullpen.
I think
Dorioki 0 for 3 today.
Sorry, Gary. I think we get stuck, Keith, sometimes talking about youngsters and saying, hey, he's only 22. Well, where were you when you were 22? Raking.
Well, I was still struggling a bit. I didn't have my breakout year. 23, but I was in the big leagues when I was 20, and that was too young.
But it's about time, 22, 23, 24. That's the time when you should be establishing your beginnings of your career.
And I think another thing too, Ron, Gare, is that when I came up, they were jamming the heck out of me, and it wasn't for Ken Boyer to make the suggestion that when I got sent back down, he asked me what was getting me out, and I said I was having a hard time with that fat slider in. From the right hand, she says, well, why don't you move off the plate? Why don't you find a happy area on the outside corner? You can still feel you can cover the outside corner and move a little bit off the plate. And I did, and I had to learn the new strike zone.
Yeah.
And I made the adjustment. It made all the world of difference. So,
he's on with a 1 out walk.
You just don't know. My point is, I'm sure people were saying the same thing about me. Oh, Hernandez, you can pitch him inside. He can't get the head out.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I made the adjustment. It's a matter of whether these guys can figure it out too. That's all. Some do, some don't. A lot don't. Not everybody makes it in this game.
So, you've done scouting reports now on a half a dozen different young Met hitters over the last few days. When you look at that group, is there one guy who stands out to you as maybe having the best chance of success?
I, believe it or not, offensively, I like Dendecker the best. I think I've been pretty clear on that. I think he's got a chance to be pretty good. We'll see. He does strike out a lot, but I think he can learn.
Well, what makes Dendecker so fascinating is if he can make enough contact, he's got quite the combination of speed, power, and defense to go with it.
Yes, he's a big, strong kid. He can run well. Got a good arm. Not a liability. He's a plus in the field.
pickoff throw. Otherwise, Aoki might have been out. Well, Decker hasn't played a lot in this last week, which has been very positive.
The most puzzling thing of September has been Decker not getting in the lineup. I don't get it. Maybe we'll find out that he's hurt or something. I don't know.
And that one gets through Satin, and Aoki will go to second. Well, Black threw one in the dirt, and then this one that Satin couldn't handle. They've charged the error on the pitcher. I'm not sure that's the right call.
You got to turn your glove over the other way, don't you?
Well, it's in the dirt, and it's just not a. It's got to. That play's got to be made. What can I tell you? It's a tough error on the pitcher. Ron, hang with him.
It's not me. That's not my error.
So runner in scoring position for Bianchi with Jonathan Lucroy on deck. Remember last 2 years ago, Ronnie, what happened the last day of the season in Tampa Bay, coming from way back and winning a wild card that way? They may be having an anti-2011 moment today. They were up 7-0. It's now 7-4, and Toronto has second and third with one out in the bottom of the seventh. Wow. Baxter's there to grab it for the second out, and Aoki holds it second. Checking with the studio, Chris Carlin is there for another game break presented by Nissan. So the first walk-off no-hitter in 61 years.
Wow.
Of course, Virgil Trucks threw 2 no-hitters in 1952. That's great research. Thanks, Chris.
That's a great name, Virgil Trucks.
So Henderson Alvarez with the last day walk-off wild pitch no-hitter. Fantastic. Is this not a great game? I mean, think about it. The Miami Marlins have had a terrible year. Now, they've had a couple of things to hang their hat on, most notably Jose Fernandez. Last day of the season, and you can see there was a big crowd there today for the last game, and they have that happen. Fantastic. You just never know.
Straight down the Mangos.
Well hit fly ball to right center, but easy for Lagares to go back and get it, and that retires the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Season running out of time. Mets down 2-1.
It's our Gartrow.
2-1 Brandon Kinsler will come on in relief for the Brewers as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
Boy, he was so impressive yesterday. Great breaking ball. 94, 95 miles an hour on his fastball. Great numbers this year.
Marco Estrada went 7 innings, allowed 1 run, 2 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts. After throwing 7 scoreless against the Braves and allowing just 2 hits in his last start. So a great finish to the season for Estrada. Juan Lagares will lead off for the Mets in the bottom of the 8th. Mets trying to avoid getting swept in a 4-game series to close out the season.
Gary, Cleveland pushed a couple across.
So they're up 4-0 on Minnesota in the 6th. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays now have the bases loaded and 1 out in the bottom of the 7th, down 7-4 to the Rays after Tampa Bay had a 7-0 lead.
You know, what's getting lost in that Cleveland game is the resurgence of Ubaldo Jimenez. I mean, he has found it again.
And that's huge because you know how good Ubaldo can be when he's at his best. Lagares has been up twice, struck out both times today. Right at Bianchi. And a wide throw. Halton came off the bag, and Lagares is safe.
Good call by C.B. Buckner. Very lazy by Halton. You got to come off the bag and make a tag. Jeez.
Well, C.B. got that one right, it would appear.
Well, let's see. Routine 6-3. He's got to stay on the bag. Period.
Or make a tag. Oh, come on.
Will charge the error on the shortstop Bianchi for the wide throw, but no help from Halton. So the Mets have the tying run aboard. And Juan Santana up for the 3rd time, grounded out and struck out today. And lays down a bunt that goes foul. Shadows starting to become a factor late afternoon. Kinsler making his 3rd appearance in this 4-game series. He's thrown 2 perfect innings before today. But now the arrow allowing Lagares to reach to start this 8th inning. And Santana gets a nice bunt down. Lucroy has to go to first, and Jeanette got tied up with the umpire. The ball is thrown away. Here comes Lagares trying to score, and the game is tied.
Oh my God.
Well, Lucroy had plenty of time to make a play, but Scooter Jeanette had trouble getting to first base.
Had trouble. He's not even going. What's he thinking? What's he doing? Going
Took
for
a bad angle and then had the umpire in his way.
And that's not the umpire's fault. He wouldn't have got there anyway. I mean, what are you supposed to do? What are you thinking?
These last 2 plays with Halton and Jeanette, please, if you're a coach out there, will you please have these kids play some defense before they get in the cage? I mean, that's a joke.
That is, I don't know if you see that in Little League. I'm sorry. I'll get on that. That's just.
Well, another error charged to the guy who was not at fault. They'll scored an infield single for Santano, and then an error on the catcher, Lucroy.
Infield single? It's going to be a sack.
Well, they're giving him a hit, saying, I guess that because of the delay in Lucroy throwing the ball.
Okay, that's right.
Slow play can't create an error.
That's right.
I guess that's why they give him a hit. And unfortunately, in both the cases in this inning, you know, Halton makes a bad play, which costs Bianchi an error, and Jeanette makes a bad play, which causes Lucroy an error.
That
now,
is just.
Dan Decker's running for Santana at second, and Tovar the batter.
That's just hard to believe.
Well, let's see what happens on this bunt. The Mets have tied the game, and Tovar gets the bunt down, and Halton's going to throw. Too late.
Oh my God!
Can you believe that?
This is beautiful.
The Milwaukee Brewers playing as bad an inning of defense as you've seen in a long time.
Can we cue the circus music? This is unbelievable. Not a chance.
I mean, did he miss the fact that Den Decker came in to pinch run?
And he almost threw it away. Oh, wow. This is embarrassing.
So it's a sacrifice and a fielder's choice, allowing Den Decker to reach third safely. And now the Mets have the go-ahead run at third and nobody out.
I mean, I hate to get on, berate, but this is worthy of tongue lashing. My God. Where's the dancing bears? They're coming up next.
So a chance for Josh Satin to give the Mets the lead in the bottom of the 8th. 2 errors and a poor decision on a sacrifice bunt. The Mets have a run in and nobody out. Meanwhile, in Toronto, the Rays got out of it. Adam Lean grounded into a double play to end that inning. So it's still 7-4 Tampa Bay going to the 8th.
If you're here with your son or daughter, you got to make them leave. You can't just turn around.
Just cover their eyes.
Don't watch. You can't watch this.
Infield in for the Brewers, and Satin almost got hit. Ball 1. Josh up for the second time. He pinch hit in the 6th and struck out. Stayed in the game at first base. Eric Young on deck.
Kinsler's agent just called Doug Melvin requesting a trade.
I have never seen a more poorly played inning ever in my life.
It is plenty of inning to go. Satin lifts one to not very deep right. Den Decker's not going to tag as Aoki comes in to get it. And that's the first out of the inning. Mets have already scored 1 run on a short sacrifice fly. That guy, Eric Young, was able to race home ahead of Aoki's throw in the first inning. And now Young gets his 4th at bat with Den Decker at third and Tovar at first and 1 out.
How many outs in this inning? 5? Keep pushing through, Kinsler.
I just don't know what Scooter Gennett was thinking. Maybe he was having flashbacks with his mom, took him to the police station. I don't know.
He was going to where he would be if he were backing up the first baseman who was covering, but the first baseman had charged and wasn't in the play. They keep the infield in, figuring that they can't double up Young. And Eric takes inside ball 1. Probably a wise move on the Brewers' part. Be hard to think about doubling up Young from the left side. Justin Turner on deck to bat for the pitchers in the 2-hole. Frank Francisco up in the bullpen. Tovar dives back. Young stole 2 bases in the first inning. Now leads the National League with 46. Looks like that'll be enough to win the stolen base title. Now trying to get the lead run home in the bottom of the 8th. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Shadows in play again. Kinsler in the sun. Young in the shade.
Infield in. 1-1 to Young. Eric fouls away the fastball. 1-2. A large and enthusiastic crowd for the final day of the season. A sellout better than 41,000. Kinsler needing a strikeout ahead on Young 1-2. And Tovar gets back. 1-2. Checks a swing on the high fastball. 2-2. Everybody's got their flights going in all sorts of different directions. But the Mets would like to escape this final day with a win. Two to Young. Chops one off his foot, a foul ball. If they could win today, would match their record from last year when they finished 74 and 88. Again, the 2-2 from Kinsler. And Young dribbles one. Kinsler off the mound. A run will score. The throw is in time to get Young. But Dendecker comes home with the lead run, and the Mets are in front 3-2. And Aaron says, I'll take that. 32nd RBI for Young, and the Mets lead.
Well, he almost threw this ball away. A tough play, though, by Kinsler. But nice read by Dendecker off the bat. Didn't hesitate. Almost threw it away. It was almost another misplay, but
it was almost like a sacrifice squeeze and the way that was played.
Oh, boy. He almost took him off the bag.
Holt's been off the bag once today. So 2 runs are home here in the 8th inning, helped out by some shoddy Milwaukee defense. Tovar's at second with 2 out, and now Turner to pinch hit. Justin flied out as a pinch hitter yesterday, but he has closed the season swinging the bat very well. 12 hits in his last 35 at bats. That's a 400 clip over the last 10 games. Looking ahead to the 9th, the Brewers will have Gomez, Bencourt, and Halton coming up. Last we checked, it was Frank Francisco up in the Mets bullpen. It'll be an interesting turn of events. Last year's closer gets a crack to get a save on the year's final day. Turner drives one toward the middle. Over goes Bianchi to get it. Halton awkwardly stays in the bag to end the inning. But the Mets get a couple of cheap runs in the bottom of the 8th to take a 3-2 lead into the 9th. Immediately after the Jets-Titans game, former Jets special teams coach Mike Westhoff joins the crew to bring you a complete game breakdown, plus your exclusive on-field interviews and Rex Ryan's post-game comments on Jets Post-Game Live, presented by Toyota. Tonight, immediately after the Jets-Titans game, only on SNY. Anthony Recker will catch the ninth inning, and look who's on the mound trying to get a save. It's been more than a year since Frank Francisco got a save for the Mets, and he'll try and do it on the season's final day.
Eight games for Francisco as he faces the best power hitter in the lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Carlos Gomez will lead things off. Let's get a couple of unearned runs in the bottom of the eighth to take a 3-2 lead. Gomez today 1 for 2 and a walk. He stole his 40th base. Gomez, then Betancourt and Halton due up in the ninth inning for Milwaukee. Vic Black worked a hitless eighth inning. He's in line for the win for the Mets. John Neese went the first 6, allowed 2 runs, 6 hits. Gonzalez Herman, a very good looking seventh with a couple of strikeouts. And now Francisco trying to finish, but falls behind on Gomez 2-0. Taking no chances, Feliciano, Barnesman, both up in the bullpen. So clearly LaTroy Hawkins not available today after LaTroy worked an inning yesterday. Francisco got a couple of outs in the 10th inning yesterday after the Brewers took the lead against Scott Atchison. And gets a strike in there, 2-1. Jim Henderson, the Brewers closer, getting ready just in case a save opportunity presents itself. It's 3-1 now to Gomez. A troubled year for Frank Francisco. The final year of a big 2-year contract with the Mets, and unavailable virtually the entire season after off-season minor elbow surgery. Gomez pops it up, and Murphy is there. 1 out. So 1 out and nobody on now. Yuniesky Betancourt is 0 for 2 and a walk today. Ramos Ramirez has come out on deck to bat for Sean Halton. Ramirez has not started in this series because of a balky knee, but did have a pinch hit in yesterday's game. There's the good splitter by Francisco, and it's 1-1. Coming up tonight on Geico Sportsnet at 10:30, we'll take a look back on Mike Piazza's induction to the Mets Hall of Fame. Jets are in Tennessee, the Giants in Kansas City. All of that coming up on Geico Sportsnet tonight at 10:30.
Do it by him.
Betancourt reminds me of the third baseman for the Dodgers, Uribe. They go up there and really just try to swing and hope they make a connection for a home run. Fastball inside, by him.
Fouled away, 94 from Francisco. Blue Jays are threatening again in the bottom of the eighth. 2 out and 2 on, down 7-4 to the Rays. Francisco ahead 1-2 on Betancourt. 2-2. Now the 2-2. And he struck him out with a splitter. Francisco fans Bencourt, 2 men down.
Well, it's a good one. Fastball, set it up, and the bottom drops out of that pitch. See how it comes out of the fingers with the seams. And what it'll do, it has fastball action as far as your arm is concerned, but that tumbling brings it into the dirt.
So now Aramis Ramirez, the final hope for the Brewers. His second pinch hitting appearance in the series. Aramis has missed large chunks of the season this year with knee problems. Still a very dangerous hitter. 3-2 New York, top of the ninth. And Ramirez grounds one foul. On a day that began with Mike Piazza inducted into the Mets Hall of Fame, Frank Francisco trying to put on the finishing touches. Francisco, who bears some physical resemblance to a guy who closed games when Piazza was playing for the Mets, Armando Benitez.
He certainly does, Ollie.
Watch him walk through the clubhouse from behind. He
He
looks
does.
like the same guy.
Yep.
1-1. And Ramirez chasing that splitter, and now it's 1-2. So now the season is down to its final strike. One and 2 to Ramirez. Stood him up with a fastball, 2-2.
Good pitch. All set up. Throw that ball up and in. He counter now with his forkball or slider.
With a 1-2-3 ninth, and the Mets get a victory on the final day of the season. Their 74th win of the year to match last year's total. Eric Young will wind up as the National League stolen base champ. And on Mike Piazza Hall of Fame induction day before a sellout crowd, the Mets cap off the 2013 season with a come from behind victory.
Well, hugs all around that you finish with a win. Francisco with the save, Black with the winning pitcher. Not a lot of offense today. A lot of help from the Milwaukee Brewers, but the Mets will take it.
Well, again, you're right, Ron. It's a horrible inning for the Brewers in the 8th. Gave the Mets the win. A nice way to end the season. It seemed like a long year. That man right there, I think, has done a terrific job with this ball club, keeping them hustling. David Wright, of course, the captain. Another year here in New York for David. But Terry Collins right there, I got kudos to him. And hopefully he's got, the rumors are true. They're going to extend his contract. And his team has hustled for him. I can't say enough. He's on point. This team was out of it. He doesn't miss anything. He's as good a manager as I've ever seen.
Well, he certainly has gotten every ounce out of the team that he has. The pressure will increase next year for this team to break a streak of 5 straight losing seasons. The Mets finished this year at 74 and 88, and the Mets tossing their caps to an appreciative crowd, finishing the year on a high note with a 3-2 win this afternoon.
Well, I can tell you that feeling in Ronnie camp. Season's over. It's been a long year. Starts in early mid-March. And it's over. And it's been a tough year for the Mets. The second half, particularly September. You can go home now, relax, take a couple weeks off, whatever you want, and clear your head.
For veterans like our veterans, a guy that got called up Sean Henn. It's thoughts of where will I be next season.
Your City game summary. John Neese pitched well, gets a no decision in his final start of the year. Eric Young, 2 stolen bases, leads the National League, will probably win the National League stolen base title. Mets managed just 3 hits today, but a couple of unearned runs in the bottom of the 8th, bringing them to a 3-2 win. For every Mets win, the Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to the Cats Women's Hospital and the Cats Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northshorelij.com/KIWH. This win brings the total contribution this season to $185,000. Mets win the finale 3-2. Lots more to do from Citi Field. We'll come back in just a moment.